Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I'm honored and I'm thankful to the organizers for giving me the invitation and talk to you on the recent figures and the development in the management of type 2 diabetes mellitus. Diabetes pandemic, Professor Saeed has made the things easier for me, that he has already shown the figures that where really we stand in case of the problems, complications in case of the diabetes. Now, this is the data from the IDF Atlas, which is just 3 days before being released on 14th of November 2019. Before that, we were on the number 8 position in case of diabetes. And if you look at that the number has risen to the 4th position. So now in the world, we are number 4 in the prevalence of diabetes. We have got 20 million diabetics. Initially, that figure was 6 to 7 million, but at the moment, the documented figure in the world is 20 million. So look at the burden of the diabetes, and I'm saying it again that it really may be a little more, not less than that what we are seeing the burden of the diabetes with us. 2 Penn Pakistan surveys, Professor Saleh has talked about the one survey. This was actually the survey that Professor Basit and his team did, and that actually shows the 26% prevalence of the diabetes. The second survey that was done, which is still the largest prevalence survey in the history of Pakistan by our group, and that actually shows the 1 in 6 Pakistanis were found to have diabetes. And we are happy that the IDF Atlas has quoted that figure that 17.1% patients has got diabetes in Pakistan, which is very near to our survey what we have given 1 year before, and that's printed in the BMJ open. Anyone can see that. Where is the problem? Why we all talk about the diabetes? The problem lies that it affects every part of your body, right from bottom to the toe. And the beautiful thing is that you can prevent the complications. We always try to say our patients that you can prevent the complications, but once the complications are there, then it's very difficult to reverse back them. So if we look at them, the most common is actually what we are seeing is the diabetic retinopathy, one of the major cause of blindness in this part of the world. And unfortunately, what we are seeing that patients are not being advised for at least yearly an ophthalmoscopic or examination or referral to a proper eye doctor for a detailed eye exam when they have got diabetes. The second most important complication is actually the kidney failure. Again, the data shows the largest problem with the renal failure in Pakistan is actually 2 things. Diabetes, number 1, and hypertension is number 2. So renal failure is again a problem, and again the diabetes is one of the main culprits. Strokes. This is again something which we do see commonly in diabetic patients, and another thing is the cardiovascular complications. Now, 50% of the diabetics will die of cardiovascular complications. We see the patients with the, I'm working at the NICVD, that's I'm quoting that we see now MI in a population of 25 to 30 years of age. So this is something which is really challenging to this part of the world. And 50% of the patients, I'm saying it again, that die with diabetes due to cardiovascular complications. Then again, the neuropathy is there, autonomic neuropathy, erectile dysfunction, infertility, and so many issues with the diabetes. Now, usually it's not say that it will take a long time, but when a diabetic is coming to a clinic, he may have got the diabetes for many years and he was diagnosed incidentally for the first time. So we always try to look at the complications when we see him for the first time. For the first time, I usually do that I will send them or refer them to the ophthalmologist, has a detailed eye exam, and we do all the things, the lipids, the urine for microalbumin, his kidney function, all these things on the first visit, that really we know where we stand in that diabetic patient. From the treatment point of view, we always have got the parameter that we say that decrease the hemoglobin A1C, which is actually the parameter that prevents you from the complications of the diabetes. Now, as a general figure is actually 7% or less than 7% of hemoglobin A1C is always a good control. If you can keep the hemoglobin A1C less than 6.5% without putting the patient into hypoglycemia, then that's the ideal thing. But generally, a figure of 7% is ideal thing. So if you reduce 1% of hemoglobin A1C, you can see that any diabetic related age point is decreased by 21%. The diabetes related death is decreased by 21%. All-cause mortality by 14%, MI by 14%, stroke by 12%. Peripheral vascular disease, gangrene, is again one of the most delayed complications of the diabetes. Amputations, ulcers, again by 43%. Microvascular complications by 37%, and cataract extraction by 19%. Not a good for the ophthalmologist business, but again, if you decrease the hemoglobin A1C, you can decrease these all complications in your patients. Now, it's a multifactorial disease. We don't have to look only at the blood glucose levels in these patients. Usually these patients have got dyslipidemia, they've got hypertension. With someone who is coming to us, we always look as a journal and we treat him all the things to prevent the long-term complication. So this is something that if we treat him, that we put him on a statin, we put him on an antihypertensive, we put him on a good anti-diabetic drugs to control, and all these things definitely will decrease the mortality in these patients if we treat them in a way that we look into the things. Newer medicines, because you all guys are in the ophthalmology, busy with your surgeries and all these things, what's happening around the world? The new medicine, which is in the market, which is now available in the Pakistan, I will talk on that. Just a glimpse that now diabetes is not only the insulin resistance and decrease in the insulin secretion. What we were taught when we were the medical students, that this is the only thing, but this is not so. Because only the kidney is involved. That's actually the kidney also. I will show you how the kidney will regulate it. The liver is involved. The gut is involved. Now the GLP-1 receptor agonists are in the market, that are actually one of the factors of pathophysiology in the diabetes. So it's not only the insulin resistance and decrease in insulin which is the pathophysiology. Now the pathophysiology of diabetes has really changed in the last decade. So this is something which I have talked about. This is a novel idea. Now, this is the drug what we call the SGLT2 inhibitor. This is just physiology, that when the blood comes into the kidney for the filtration, the glucose is usually not absorbed and comes as such into the urine. From the proximal tubules, the SGLT2, where is SGLT2 receptors are there and SGLT1 receptors are there. 90% is in the SGLT2, 10% in the SGLT1. So all the glucose is excreted in the urine. So in the last maybe 20, 30 years back, if you can remember that we checked the control of actually diabetes by checking the urine color, by putting some of the drops of some solution. Now, the novel idea is that now we are inhibiting the SGLT2 receptors. And what's happening? That the glucose is excreted into the urine, and that excretion into the urine will actually cause the stabilization of the blood sugar into the blood. So this is independent of what you are eating and what's happening around the body. So this is a novel idea, and these drugs now are available in Pakistan. Just name two. One is the dapagliflozin and second one is actually the empagliflozin. There are other gliflozins which are on the world market, but these two are available now in Pakistan. What are the benefits? Why we talk about these newer drugs? They decrease the HbA1c by about 1%. They decrease the systolic blood pressure. They decrease the weight. Now the problem with the diabetes is that we give the medicines and majority of the medicines causes weight gain. And if you gain weight, that is more predisposition towards the cardiac events. So ideal diabetic drug should be one that not causes the weight gain, decreases the hemoglobin A1c and not causes the hypoglycemia. So we talk on that. Obesity and the cardiovascular disease, again as I said earlier, if you increases the weight, again you are making more prone to your patient for the cardiovascular complications. So at the one hand, we are treating the diabetes, and at the other hand, actually we are making our patient more prone for the cardiovascular complication, which I said earlier is the 50% part of mortality in diabetic patients. Hypoglycemia, another delayed complication of cardiac treatment, the diabetic treatment. Just a brief, what's happening, that if someone has got hypoglycemia, there are release of adrenaline, increased the contractility, and that all can lead to the arrhythmias or myocardial infarction in your patient. So, hypoglycemia is something which is not taken easy. It's always a very delayed complication, and the patient may develop MI, especially in the elderly. So these are actually the complications of hypoglycemia. Patient may loses the consciousness and go into the coma. Cardiovascular outcome trials. What we are saying, it is being proven or not, what we are saying about these drugs. So just these are all cardiovascular trials. I don't want to go into the detail. Empiric trial, a recent trial, 12,000 patients, cardiovascular protection. What is the drug? Empagliflozin. And what are the outcomes? That 14% was decreased in the three major adverse cardiovascular events. That's the cardiac MI, death and stroke. 38% decrease in the cardiovascular death. Still, there is no medicines except the SGLT2s that actually decrease the cardiovascular death in these patients. Number two, 32% decrease in all-cause mortality. 35% decrease in heart failure and hospitalization, and 39% decrease in the worsening nephropathy. So, if you are treating the diabetes with the SGLT2 inhibitor, you are not only treating the diabetes, but you are giving a benefit of cardiovascular protection, renal protection to your patients. And actually, they preventing the death in these percent by 38%. Declare trial, another Legion trial recently published, again a big trial, 10,000 patients. This is with another drug, dapagliflozin. Again, weight and HbA1c is decreased, diastolic blood pressure is decreased, and cardiovascular death, major adverse cardiovascular events were decreased, and renal benefits, as I said earlier, 422 adults or millions are living with the diabetes has got 30 to 40% will develop the CKD. So 30 to 40% of your diabetic patients in the long term will develop the chronic kidney disease, and look at the burden. So if you use the SGLT2, definitely they will reduce the cardiovascular protection. Coming to the recent guidelines, what they say and what are the recommendations. These are the different organizations that causes actually giving the guidelines. First line drug still is the metformin. Lifestyle modifications, metformin, and after the metformin, the choices yours usually the SGLT2s, DPP4 inhibitors, or the drugs of choice in these patients. Atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, which is prevalent or very common in this part of the world. The guideline says if someone has got atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease with the diabetes, first thing is that lifestyle modification, diet, and then actually the SGLT2 or GLP-1 receptor agonist, which actually causes decrease in the weight. The second thing, without diabetes, yes, you can go with the metformin, you can go with the other drugs. This is the newer guidelines, just came 1 month before from the European Society of Cardiology. Now the cardiologists are again in the business of diabetes also, and that has clearly shown that someone who has got the diabetes, they say he or she should be started with the SGLT2 inhibitor or GLP-1 receptor agonist if he has got the confirmed atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease that protects actually the heart, give you a longer duration of longevity. So these guidelines hasn't really been changed. Now, this is still controversial, or I don't say that metformin should not be used